All right. Welcome to this week's Fire Analytics meeting. Got a smaller group today. So let's just get into it. Hello, Bashir. Okay. Housekeeping. We were doing a little bit of that last week. So just going over the agenda. No updates from our side on query resource. I know that Nikolai has some work to show on a test environment.
Yep.
Cool. And looking at the last thing, no, there was a demo from Gene Vessel planned, but I just forgot about it, or I didn't ping him or anything like that. All right. So, anything else from you guys do you want to discuss today? No. Okay. All right. We'll just get into it. Yeah, just in terms of housekeeping, I'm trying to go through some of the action items. Nicola, I think you were out last week, so if we could run through them really briefly, that would be great, and just cut off some of the ones that are not relevant anymore. Let me share screen. Okay, you should see that. So, okay, starting from the top here.
Hmm?
SDC population logic integration. Where is that at? We haven't talked about SDC in a while, but anything updates on that?
Yeah, so to be honest, there is a lot of interest from SDC in analytics on FHIR.
Yeah.
Not for population, mostly for analytics after data were collected.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I will ask about population logic as well, because maybe some population logic, some rules are much easier to express using query.
Yeah.
I think they will miss the query resource. But now there is a lot of interest that the guys want to translate questionnaires into flat representation and build some dashboards.
Yeah.
And Maria our product owner did presentation for UK HL7 and they were impressed. So yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
I think this is a good fit for SDC to do analytics right after data was collected.
Yeah, I think both sides. I mean, I've heard interest in both sides. Yeah, this is something that Brian mentioned as a use case. I don't think we don't have an active project in this, but we definitely have heard interest, and I expect there to be more interest in it. I'm just thinking. I mean, you put on, a big SDC conference. What is there for us to do? What's actionable for us in terms of next steps with SDC? Like, is it a use case? Is it?
For SDC, there are some challenges. Like,
Mm,
I think John come up with the idea because some items could be recursive. And I'm not sure that we still have I don't think that we have this function, recursive repeat function in by default in SQL on FHIR. As well, John suggested to have some special type of keyword in the view definition, like
uh-huh.
recursive call. That's probably what we can do for the SDC guys. And
Yeah, I'd love for us to just get more visibility on this on the utility for the use case too. So I think you've noted that there's a couple of potential spec enhancements here, right? Um, you know,
and there was request from I forgot. So there was request in Zulip from Alex from Germany.
yeah,
And they asking us, and Graham mentioned that they need to refer back the questionnaire. So
right.
when they writing view definition for the specific questionnaire, they need the special element in a view definition to point to the questionnaire. And Graham said that it's similar to profiles. Maybe I'm not sure exactly, but we probably need like one or two elements to do that. So we discussed that we may want to point to the profiles, the view definition related to. Maybe we can use the same, like we may have array element which like related canonical to the view definition, but we need a bigger group to discuss it.
Mm-hmm.
So at least now we have profiles and the questionnaire. maybe later it could be something else,
Mhm.
like observation definition or something like this. There are a few other canonical resources.
Mhm. Okay, I think we can table discussion around SDC, um, and enhancements that we would make for SDC, for a bigger group. I see Brian is here as well. We were just chatting about how there's, discussion around SDC related to view definitions in terms of both, you know, um, defining the population and also for the outputs. I don't know if you want to add any color around the use cases that you might see. I think there are some. We haven't, I don't think, specifically talked about them in too much detail, but given some of the interest in data collection, I don't know if you have anything to add to that at this point. If not, that's fine.
The population is always tricky, so I'm pretty sure when we will come up with a query resource, people will consider it. But without
Mhm.
query resource, I'm not sure that like just view definition is enough to populate.
I would just use the way we do it with SQL questionnaires.
Mhm.
Same thing, use a library resource, and you can refer to that in the SDC has initial expression as an extension that they use.
Mhm.
So I guess I'm not sure what the comments are about. Is it because there's already a solution using SDC defines several extensions to questionnaire, including initial like there's an initial
Mhm.
value expression, there's a calculated value expression, there's like there's an able when expression. They add all these expressions that have a data type as a FHIR expression,
Mhm.
and it can be a FHIR path or you can refer to a CQL library. So we would in this case refer to the SQL query library.
Mhm.
And the SQL query would presumably return the value that would be the pre-populated value, something like that. Now that would kind of suck because maybe you want one query to do multiple fields at once. So we'd have to think about that use case. Maybe that feels like something to work through, but hopefully we can just use the same pattern that already exists and not invent something new.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sure.
So I think, I mean, the next step to me seems like sort of more worked out examples of using query resource and view definitions in the context of SDC. And then the questions that Alex is presenting here, for a larger group. I don't know if someone wants to take that on, but I'm just putting that out there into the crowd. So I think that's up next. Next steps for that.
Yeah, that here is an interesting like philosophical question. What we are referring. So we building view definition on top of resource type. We may so this resource type may have a profile or set of profiles on it. Or there are special resource types like questionnaires and observation definition. I don't know, Brian, do you know other similar patterns which are essentially kind of profile type of resource like questionnaire, which is definition of the questionnaire?
Yeah,
So,
there's a whole most canonical resources are also considered definitional resources. So that includes plan definition, activity definition, questionnaire, library, value set, code system, structure definition, structure map. These are all um, resource types that are considered like knowledge artifacts or definitional. And then there's some of the problems in R4 that there's a few additional ones that are in this category. That includes medication and substance and medication knowledge, which for some reason are not canonical but behave as definitional in their semantics. But yeah, there's a whole there if basically every canonical resource in FHIR is a you can think of it as a definition, and questionnaire is one of them.
what would be the good name for this element referring to the definition?
Well, in FHIR, they're called canonical resources.
Yeah, but what would be the reference? So from the view definition, name of this reference, if we want to say that this
View definition has a related artifact where you can refer to canonicals that way, if
do we
that's what
have
you're asking.
do we have related artifact element?
I think we put it on view definition, right?
Let's check. Is it extension or it's a first class element?
Oh, it's part of the spec.
Mm-hmm. Then,
It's a native data type.
mm-hmm.
View definition. Oh, I guess it doesn't have related artifact.
No,
We
I
did
I
not.
don't think we have related artifact.
Well, it should have a URL property as well. So yeah, I think the base view definition is missing. Interesting. URL gets added. Wait a minute. How can URL be added in shareable view definition, but it's not there in the base? I think there.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
because it's inherited from canonical resource, so it's inherited.
Oh, canonical resource has URL. I see. It does not have related artifacts. So I would, if we want a view definition to refer to other canonical resources, we should do it the way that library does it and other.
Mhm.
I'm surprised
Lib-
canonical resource doesn't have related artifact as part of it, but that's how I would do it.
Okay. Any other resources except library have element for related artifacts?
Yeah, they almost all of them do. I'm surprised it's not in canonical resource. Like look at plan definition.
Okay, they have as well. Okay, so then
Look at activity definition. I think yeah.
yeah, maybe
That's what
yeah,
Axel was asking
Library
for.
library does. I think measure does.
Mhm.
I'm surprised questionnaire doesn't.
I think it has something relate, but maybe it's more.
That's surprising the questionnaire doesn't have related artifact.
And what could be related artifact for the question?
Well, it could be related artifacts don't always have to refer to FHIR things. Like many times a related artifact might be a reference to a PubMed article for a citation,
Mhm.
or it could be a research study that would provide the justification for why the questionnaire exists. It's surprising that related artifact doesn't exist on questionnaire.
Mhm. Okay, maybe let's add this element.
Okay.
Oh, so there's an
decision.
extension related artifact that people probably use. I don't know why it's not in the core spec.
Mhm.
Maybe it's in R6. Let me take a look.
I just looked at R6, but double check me. It didn't look like it was in there either. Here's the, I guess, list of where the extension is used.
You gotta ask someone who knows about questionnaires why related artifact isn't there. I think it should be on the link to canonical resource, which was that other link that you went to.
Link to canonical resource.
Yeah, if you look at the SQL on FHIR IG and you click on view
Yeah.
definition where it inherits from,
Mhm.
canonical resource.
Yeah.
If you follow that link, wow, they have strict security now at the HL7.
Choose all the clocks. This is
So if you
R5.
scroll down here, you can see that I'm surprised that related artifact isn't here because I always thought it was part of all canonical resources. So I'm surprised it's not.
Version.
Use context is, but related artifact is not. So that's surprising to me. Anyway, it's a non sequitur. I would have thought it was here.
All right. Well, I think it's pretty clear that we should add it to the definition of view definition. View definition. Okay. So that was, I think, relative. I think that's going to be pretty uncontroversial. So useful discussion. All right. Back to cleanup to do. Okay. I think just a broader discussion around SDC. I'd love personally to learn more about it. So if anybody listening is interested in it and would like to discuss SDC use cases, I think they're going to be pretty, I think they're important and relevant. Love to get some of those, researcher types who are using it.
So
interested.
one question about the library based query.
Yeah.
So there was a conversation on Zulip in which I couldn't move Nikolai your work into the proper IG because IG publisher would fail.
Yep.
And so I was going to define it as a system action, and then Graham as he's always very friendly on Zulip, seemed to indicate that wasn't a good idea. But then I think Gino said that he did think it was a good. So where did we land on operation
Yeah.
definition? Is it
If you guys took a look at the notes from yesterday and last time and Gino's comments, we did actually me, John, Gino, Steve, I think you were there as well. We had a pretty broad discussion about this. So to summarize, yes, Gino does think that a system level operation for R4 that takes a URL makes sense. It can't be typed, right? The typing is the issue, right? Across the board, but he suggested that this is how like subscriptions backport IG works, is that there is like an untyped URL.
well, we can
Attribute.
we can say that it has to conform to a profile in the operation definition. So we could point to view definition, the structure definition for view definition. I know we can't have it be a type because view definition does not exist in R4, but we could at least say it conforms to view definitions, the structure definition we have.
I raised this discussion on FHIR the previous week.
Yeah.
And the Graham initially said it. So I suggested to backport additional resources to R4. So the first answer from Graham was that it's very complicated because it's not implemented in Happy. But then I asked it, Happy has custom resources which are not different from additional resources. And Graham promised to make more research on it. So potentially, I think this is a good idea to backport additional resources to R4. There are many other use cases, not just SQL on FHIR. But maybe as a first hack, yeah, we can do the system level operation, but as well we can wait for Graham maybe do the backport additional resources to R4.
Well, if the backport happens or not, do we still want system operation in any case?
We can do this. So I would love to discuss what are the consequences if we have, for example, non-conformant. Yeah, so we see the one consequence that IG publisher could not handle it. Yeah, so we could not.
Right.
Okay, maybe.
I mean, to just to reflect on what Gino was saying is that like it's what is the purpose of conformance, right? Like what are the actual practical like events that require that kind of strict conformance? And it's not like a tool. The tool could change and be modified, but like you couldn't do something like, or it's unclear if you could do something like publish, HL7 publishing an IG, right? Or something like that. Like publishing something in IG where it's known to be non-conformant with some version of FHIR, like it's kind of seems like more of a no-no, right? But the idea he was presenting is that something like, conformance is only relevant in certain contexts, right? And what we're trying to do is not necessarily, will not bump into those contexts, right? I would separate that from, does IG Publisher support, is there some validation rule in IG Publisher that is preventing this kind of use? But that's sort of what we were thinking about, or what the point Gino was making. Was it like certain aspects where a non-conformant specification cannot sort of progress, but it doesn't seem like anything that we're doing in something like this would bump into that problem.
I'm not really sure what you're saying, but I think like if we want to make this be a an IG that gets balloted, we would have to be like it has to pass. IG Publisher runs the validator, so it has to be valid FHIR. Otherwise, it's not a FHIR thing. And if we want to make this a FHIR thing, it has to pass that, whatever the committee decides those rules are. I'm fine.
Is it failing on R6 or R6 is not yet released? So
R6 isn't released. But IG Publisher doesn't recognize ViewDefinition as a resource type, so I can't bind the operation definition on a resource called ViewDefinition because ViewDefinition doesn't exist.
Yeah. But
So
do you know
I'm-
any plans when R6 is going to be released? So,
no one's going to be on R6 for at least a decade.
okay.
Right, but Brian, to your point, that's not like if you take this approach, right? To my understanding, that's not an issue, right? Because you're not saying like the
Well,
operation definition.
I was
Yeah.
going to propose that we have a root level operation definition, no matter what, and then if we want it to in R6, or if they allow, if the FHIR specification allows custom resources in R4 officially, then we can always add it later. And in the meantime, we can create a something that looks like an operation definition, but isn't technically a FHIR operation definition as a preview, or just mark it as like this is it wouldn't be part of the official ballot or whatever. It would be more informative, not normative.
Mhm.
And I think that solves all the problems.
I
We
think-
like the idea of a system level operation, which it sounds like we're open to having a system level operation.
Yeah, it looks like a reasonable compromise for me.
So I can
Mhm.
create. I'll continue the refactor of your stuff.
Yep.
Nikolai, because I stopped on that, and then I'll push that forward. Sorry about going back in time to talking about this topic, but I want to know if I should work on that or not. So I know.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's move it on the system.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that my understanding is this backport idea for a system level operation is conformant R4, so in theory could be could move forward to ballot, and then I agree like could have some more experimental version that is dependent on future events like custom resources or whatever happening. So that's my understanding of it as well. So Brian, I think you can go ahead with the system level operations. Okay, cool. Right. Next up, export
I think
operation
I
documentation page.
I published the first version, so Gina should review it in terms of asynchronous operation. We had a FHIR meeting with the Josh Mandel. We discussed this
This one.
asynchronous pattern,
Mm-hmm.
and there are two asynchronous patterns in the current spec, but Josh is working on the third one because the first asynchronous pattern is based on bulk export, and it's just legacy, so it's like just half FHIR stuff. Then the guys created another pattern which should return bundle. And then on FHIR we had a discussion that maybe we need like more generic async pattern when we can return anything. For example, if you want to return parameter resource, why not to return parameter? And I think that the Josh is working on a draft of this. And if it will succeed, then I think that our version is quite good. If it's not, and we want to jump back to this asynchronous pattern 2 with a bundle, then we have to return bundle. Maybe with a parameter resource. But I'm pretty sure that, that we will finish with the third asynchronous pattern where the response can be anything, including parameter resource.
Mm-hmm.
And that's done. Maybe, guys, if you can review it, so I can make one more run through this. I already copied most of stuff from, and in our case, it's gonna be on the system level as well. Yeah, so we should go to the system level. Then we will probably have a conflict on export, $export. And if we go to the system level, we probably have to prefix it with a ViewDefinition export and a ViewDefinition run.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we may have a clash with the other guys.
Right. This endpoint would move.
This is waiting for the feedback. So I just implemented very naive version in the reference implementation. I'm waiting for the Steve feedback about the bulk stuff, because we need real implementation for that to understand how good is it, what's missed, and so on. I just copied some parts from run And we discussed some question that the view should be like nested because we need some name it reference and so on. Yeah, but we probably need some implementation to discuss it further.
Mhm.
I started, but I haven't finished this implementation, Nikolai. I'll spend some more time on it this week and next.
Okay. All right. So that's, you can check that one off. Add search parameters section to run operation documentation.
Yeah, there was no consensus about this, so people were thinking that it's too complicated. I really like this idea. Maybe I can add it as an optional stuff, very optional. So if server supported, then it can do this. It would be nice for real time run operation to pre-filter stuff, but this will force implementation to implement the FHIR search, which is kind of nice adventure for the guys. I'm not sure that everybody want to do these adventures. It may take like half year to do it properly.
Right. And, this would be informed by that previous conversation we had around what's valid in the view definition not being a real resource in R4. Move operation definition to different folder.
I think that's fixed. So that's fixed.
Okay. Right. So, okay, move run operation documentation from API tab to operation section. Is this one done?
Well,
okay. I'll look through these real quick and check them off. Create GitHub topic for additional binding.
I forgot what it was.
Yeah, I forgot what that was too.
I think this is about capability statement and how we gonna present what formats are we supporting. So there is another way to do that, like Steve suggested, to failing on every unknown parameter, and maybe we can fail on unknown formats. But I don't know. So this is a question how the client can discover what formats are supported. Maybe we can do in a simple way, or maybe just have a system level operation with a parameter response.
Huh. Okay. Well, maybe.
I'm not sure that it should be in terminology because it's going to be extendable and so on, and additional bindings are still not very common. Maybe it require more discussions. Maybe we can.
I think
yeah. I think so. I was looking at our capability statement, and I was not 100% sure I'm doing it right, even for like the functionality that we've supported. So, and I wasn't quite sure how to characterize it properly in the capability statement resource. So I think we probably need a little bit more thought on there.
There was another idea that using feature query API, which is in the very beginning, and the grammar working, it is much more flexible than capability. Essentially, just define your custom RPC for that.
Okay.
Can you return anything? It gives a lot of freedom.
Okay, so we'll resync around to this one later. Implement reference client.
I can show the client now, so it's already deployed.
Okay.
You can play with it. So if you can quickly show it.
Yeah, let me stop sharing.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yes. So here is a client. So I tested it with 8box. You can change it, run it. I don't know, make mistake. So yeah, you can put your URL here. It is not doing query from the browser. So it's doing on the backend side. So you don't have to work on all of this coarse stuff. So, but it will not be able to query your local host. So just know this. Or you can run it locally and then it will be able to query the local host. So, yeah. So if it's failed, so you can see what was sent and what was the response. And I just added few parameters here, but I will work on more parameters. And yeah, so it's open source. I will share the link. I decided it not included into the official repo because it's too much code, but it's open source, so everybody can use this tester. And later I will add ability to add. So for now, it's using resources on server, but we should support. I'm just thinking how to do it aesthetic. So how you can add extra resources to the query. Yes, so it's here. So I hope that if guys will support this, will be nice. And just another announce. So we quite kind of close to FHIR LSP, and I hope to integrate this stuff. I hope to integrate this stuff with this client. So and everybody will be able to use it. So this is a basic LSP. It's doing like analysis of the queries. It can understand FHIR versions, auto completion, and all this stuff. So and it will be integrated with this guy. So not Visual Builder, but much smarter stuff. And there will be Visual Studio Code plugin for that as well. And
Cool.
completely open source project. Yes, so it's a new FHIR TypeScript engine with analyzer, with a static analyzer, and all this stuff. It's not performant, but it's very advanced in terms of this auto completion and all this stuff. So if you see it, it's smart enough. So if you say this, it will say that unknown property.
Did you build this with the language server?
Yeah, you see here's a protocol. So it is language server on the bottom. So
Okay,
this is called a mirror.
You could create a plugin for VS Code or Cursor or anything that supports language server protocol, right?
Yeah, it will work with any of these guys. So we will officially support Visual Studio Code, but we will release this LSP as a separate library as well. So if people want to integrate it into stuff like this, just code a mirrors or something else, it should be trivial. And this is just an example how you can integrate LSP with a.
Are you doing syntax highlighting in this as well?
Yeah, it's easy part. So it's I will do this. Yeah.
This is very cool. So how are you defining the version? Like, I mean, the version of the resource.
Sorry, Bashir, can you say it again?
So when I said this is very cool. So when you are, so this is obviously version specific, right?
Yeah.
So you say that, this is like an R4 patient, for example. I don't see where you are specifying that.
It is now hard coded. But
I see. Okay.
Yeah, but internally, so I will show you. So here's a new repo, how it's organized. So here is a FHIR engine, and it is using simple stuff which is called FHIR Canonical Manager. And the FHIR Canonical Manager you can initialize with a different IGs. And the FHIR is calling this guy. And this guy is caching all this stuff and then doing like a model. It's serving as a model provider for the FHIR pass. So they are integrated. And here is a FHIR pass. Here is a FHIR pass LSP. It's the first version. This is the second one. Is a new one. This one was a mess with a Visual Studio Code plugin. This is a pure one LSP, and we will replace soon this one with this. And as well, it's used FHIR schema internally to do this model, providing stuff like jumping by properties. All this stuff is open source, so feel free to play with it. Yeah, half of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, half of it done with agentic coding. So let me do some review of the code.
Don't bet your life on it. Cool. No, it's a really cool tool. So good stuff. And a couple of things here. Export operation, reference it in the reference implementation. So I think were you going to show what you did for the reference implementation at all? I thought I saw something new about that.
I'm going to update the code. So yeah.
Okay.
So that was simulation of bulk export in reference implementation. Yeah.
Right. This is what this is here. Oh, sorry, you're probably not looking at my screen anymore. The one on Vercel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, when that's ready, share it around. This one on Vercel.
This is a client. Yeah. It's dark schema. Okay, so we have.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Cool. All right. Very cool. Right. So that was a little housekeeping. Thank you, Nikolai. I can cut down those list of to-dos, thankfully. For me, I did some work on SQL dialects, not complete yet, but I think we'll be able to get a pretty good coverage across SQL dialects. I just need to go look at some of that research I did earlier. Parquet on FHIR. We had a discussion with John yesterday. Last week. He's going to take a pass at the draft documentation. He's a little behind on that, and then we'll continue to iterate on that, add what additional content that we have planned to do so, and then move the Parquet on FHIR work to FHIR Foundation GitHub repo. Okay. I don't think there's any rush to that. We had a bunch of talk about Mimic 4, potentially doing some more examples using Mimic 4 and Mimic 4 and FHIR. Demo script. Some of this is out of date. And so that's everything. And then, we didn't talk so much about different library query resource examples in different languages, but so that's still kind of hanging out there. Right. So anything else we have? I definitely wanted to run through your recent work, Nikolai, but if we don't have anything else for today, does anybody else have any topics?
So one quick thing about the Parquet on FHIR, and sorry I missed the meeting last week. So I think the main, I guess, at least to me, the most important hanging question is so when we want to write, let's say, SQL, and then the schema is not fixed because the schema comes from the data. So you can write a SQL that runs on a version of the Parquet, but it fails on the other version of the Parquet.
Mm-hmm.
Did we discuss this hanging question at all? Does anyone have any thoughts?
It's been a while, so
I think we need John.
Okay.
I think we're all we have offloaded to S3 all the storage about Parquet on FHIR, but we want to return it, get back to it. I think once we get a little bit over the API and the query resource kind of thing, but no, I don't think we thought about that like the smaller schema, like what happens when your queries are referring to columns outside that smaller schema. No, I don't think we've had any further discussion about that.
Yeah, right, I saw just that this came last week, and
sorry, Bashir, looks like some connection troubles.
Yeah, you're
You're frozen.
You're back.
Yeah, I guess I have some so maybe I just turn off my video, maybe just makes it better. Yeah, I saw that there was some discussion on it last weekend, and then there was, I think maybe John suggested that we should try to implement it, on the FHIR data pipes on OpenStack. The main reason that I haven't started work, one reason is that we have less resources in general, but then the other reason is that so I don't have anyone that I like to address that question first before supporting it. In general, I think it's a very neat idea that then the schema is much smaller, but then we also I need to have a story about the downstream querying as well. So
yeah, I'm just looking over what we said. Maybe let's cue that for next week. Hopefully John could be here, and
sure,
we can restart that discussion. Okay, sounds good. All right. If there's nothing else, then we'll wrap up and call it a day.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
See you.